Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Erica, and today I want to show you how I attach my binding onto my quilts. I have a stack of 5 quilts here that I need to put binding on, and I want to show you how I do that. Okay, so I have these binding strips, and I'm just going to make them into one continuous binding. So what I do is I take my first one. Okay, hold on, get back. When I take my first one, I put it face up or right side up. Okay, stop. I have this one right side up, and I have this one right side down. And then what I do is I just follow it on the diagonal right here. And I actually use my seam tape, you can see here, so I don't even mark anything. I just put it on the diagonal. I make sure my diagonal lines up here, right here with this red line, and my diagonal lines up here with this foot, or with my needle, but in the middle of my foot, and then I hold my threads, I sew it. So this is gonna be a mitered corner binding. Some people don't do mitered corners, they actually just do like a straight sew, like right here. But mine's mitered. So then now this one's gonna be right side up. Take my next strip, put it right side down. And I'm just gonna follow this diagonal. Okay, and then once I have all my binding strips sewed together, I have my stitch line here, and I just cut a 1/4 inch. I just trim away a 1/4 inch with my scissors. Sometimes I use my rotary cutter, but sometimes it's just faster to use scissors. So I'll do that on all of the join strips. And then I'll take this to my ironing board and show you how I press it. Okay, once I have my binding, I just lay it on my ironing board, and I know I need to wash this cover actually. I just iron the whole thing out, so when I get to a seam here, I just press it so that it goes to one side. That's how I do mine. Make sure my steam's on. So I'll just iron this entire thing. Okay, and once I get to this point, I just put the right side down, and this is a 2.5 inch strip. I forgot to say that last time. And what I like to do is I just fold this over so that wrong sides are together, and then I press it. And then I'll do that the entire time. Okay, and when it's done, what I do is I just take it in my hand and I just wrap it up over my hand like this and make a roll. And that works for me, and that's my binding roll. Okay, so now that I have my binding roll, I just want to show how I attach it to my quilt. So what I do is I just let this binding roll fall in my lap, actually all the way down on the ground. And then I place my raw edge. I usually leave a tail of about, I don't know, 5-6 inches. And then I'll start sewing at that point. But I have the raw edge of my binding that's folded over, lined up with the raw edge of my quilt. And then what I do is I just do a 1/4 inch seam allowance on that. And I just sew all the way around my quilt. Okay, I know you probably can't see this very well, but when I get to the corner here, I like to sew just about 1/8 inch from the edge, like this. My needle's down, and then I'm going to turn my quilt like this. I'm going to back stitch off my quilt. Okay, hold on. I'm going to back stitch off my quilt so it looks like this. And then I'm going to fold this up so there's like a mitered corner on that binding strip. And then I'm going to flip it back down so that the raw edges line up again.
Do you want my crest?
And then I'm going to sew this back down all the way around until I get to the next corner. Yep, just a minute. Okay, I got the binding all attached, and this is, I should have mentioned that I do attach it to the front, and then what I'll do is I'll flip it to the back, the binding over to the back, and I'll actually hand sew it down. So this is what my corner looks like on this side. Then I'll flip it over and I will fold those down like that. A little bit better than that. Let's see here. I'm doing this with one hand right now. Anyway, so something like that. But the binding is sewed to the front of my quilt. And it will just be flipped over to the back of my quilt. And then I'll be ready for hand sewing. And then I can attach my label and my quilt will be done. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.